The various meanings of water. Priests in sacred libations acknowledge its mystery. A boy dabbles with it as with a living playmate. A wanderer near death gulps it down like life itself. A lover gazes into it as if it were his beloved's mirror. And here are all four in one man.
What?
I'm sorry, Sushio. You've said nothing for so long. I was composing a list in my mind about water.
For the rest of my life, it is all I will drink.
I assume you were drunk when you beat Komatsu. What will happen now? You haven't been ordered into exile.
Not yet. They're allowing me the chance to go of my own will. Noble courtesy.
I'm surprised Princess Tamaki hasn't insisted on exile, or worse.
So am I. My mother-in-law is old-style nobility.
So? Of your own will?
Not without Komatsu.
And she refuses?
I've heard not a word from her. I've heard from no one except you, Shonagon. Maybe I should go to her. Just walk out of here and demand that she... No.
No, not wise.
And here you are. Is that wise? You may be frowned upon. Or worse.
No one knows I am here. I know how much you love her, Sushio, and she you.
But you believe I beat her.
Are you saying you didn't?
How can I say that when she says I did?
I've seen you in a rage more than once. It's like there's a demon inside you.
Only one. They are legion. They help me with my poems.
But your poems are things of beauty. How do demons make beauty?
I face them. I face them down. Then I turn away with a kind of stone beauty. And that's what I use to make my lines. I have to see the demons clearly so that I can write their opposite. And so compose angels. I've even been known to write skylarks and cherry blossom. Your favourites.
You spoke about the tears we shed even when the blossom is still on the tree because we know it must fall.
Our great recurring theme.
I get weary of it. Why can't people simply enjoy the blossom, the moment? I do. Should I feel guilty about my simplicity?
No. Be glad. And even I don't understand the mystery. Sometimes I look at the draft of a poem I've made and I have no memory of making it. There, on the paper, are images or phrases. They may be half familiar, they are in my manner, but where they came from, I simply find I have these bits and pieces I must shape into a poem.
A cherry tree walks uprooted like a woman.
Is that mine?
Yes. You don't remember? Her bridal blossom.
The images are in my manner, but no, I don't really remember.
Sushio, do you think memory... Is it possible?
Through drink and mystery, I have no memory of striking my beloved wife.
Is that possible?
Is this possible? I go to her now.
Not wise, Sushio.
I go to her and I clutch her to me. I hold her so tightly her bridal blossom falls. But blossom returns. It grows anew. It enfolds me, enfolds us both, husband and wife renewed. Safe. Safe from all their noble impossibility.
I suppose with such a man all manner of things are possible. Things absurd and reprehensible.
Will you be sent into exile without Komatsu? I think that might be like a sentence of death.
Who with any dignity would even blink at such a death?
Princess Tamaki.
Lady Shonagon, you have been a good friend to my daughter, so I will be frank with you. If it were my decision, and it is not, councillors will decide, that vile man would suffer more than exile. He would be sent into slavery, or would spend the rest of his life in prison.
The rooms he is in now are as cramped as a prison.
And who told you that? You have visited him there.
I had other ladies and one of their husbands in close attendance. Sushio, too, is my friend.
Your friend struck a woman of the blood royal. He shed that blood.
Forgive me, Princess Tamaki. I wanted to understand how such a thing could happen.
Understand. Understand this. Any further communication with that man could be harmful to you. It could lose you your position here. Oh, I know you're a great favourite of our Empress.
My devotion to Her Majesty is absolute.
But devotion, even favouritism, do not make your position sacrosanct.
Of course not, Princess.
I can see why Her Majesty favours you. My cousin is a most open-hearted young woman who sometimes, indeed, seems even younger than her years. She is so amused by those witty, delightful lists of yours.
I take delight in her amusement and in her wisdom.
Ah, wisdom. Open-heartedness, loyalty, and a gentle, womanly manner may be seen as wisdom, rightly so in many cases, and my young cousin's smiling tolerance of rather unlikely people need not be interpreted as lack of wisdom.
Unlikely people.
A simple policeman arrives at our gate and is granted imperial audience. So unlikely, so charming.
Lieutenant Yukinari has given great service to their majesties. He even rescued the Emperor from bandits.
And was amply rewarded, I'm sure.
Princess Tamaki, thank you for talking so frankly with me. May I ask one more question?
Of course.
Will Lord Narimura be among the councillors who decide Zushio's fate?
His rank certainly warrants it, but he may recuse himself.
Because he would not condescend even to condemn such a low man. It might cause him to blink.
Ah, is this the wit my cousin so enjoys? Lord Narimura is a man of honour, and his contempt for Zushio is long-standing and well-known. Although he would judge the scoundrel in an entirely impartial and proper way, he may not risk the suggestion that he might recommend perpetual exile simply because the man's poetry is execrable and his lack of social grace appalling. Honour, Lady Shonagon. Do you understand that?
Of course, Princess.
You know, Lord Narimura can be very entertaining when it comes to that man's verses. He has said they are like the result of a boy slapping cakes of mud together.
I have heard some lords, when in drink, even extemporize in Zushio's style.
No doubt drink would be a necessary stimulant to such foolishness. But can it be called style? Does that not require precision and discipline?
As to discipline, Zushio works and reworks his poems.
So much endeavour to produce muddy pies. Now, Lady Shonagon, was that your final question?
A question. Why are peace and tranquility so unattainable? Is it the way of the world? Is it some flaw or weakness in me? And what might that weakness be? Impatience? Too quick a temper? Too easily tempted? He is as sulky as a boy, and I am as petulant as a girl. You recognize love and see peace and tranquility fall away like blossom. There's the answer. Our great recurring theme.
I know some things about you, my noble friend. Or about what they say you represent. What the priests say, and the scholars. You represent anger. Did you know that? I don't suppose you did. Well, let me enlighten you. You are one of the three unreasonable creatures. The monkey, greed. The deer, lovesickness. And the tiger, anger. And they say some moonstruck men can turn into something like you. A human tiger so fierce it can destroy whole villages, towns, palaces even. I'd better keep out of the moonlight. How long have you been there?
Did you learn all that in your studies here?
No, I've known it for years. But here's something new. Something I was reading this morning. The procedure for issuing an imperial decree. The council decides on a proposal, secretaries write it out, in Chinese of course. It then goes to the Ministry of Central Affairs. A minister signs it with the character for proclaim.
The Chinese character?
Of course. It then goes to the senior assistant minister who writes the Chinese character received. From there to the junior assistant minister who writes perform.
Do all these people read it?
I have no idea. Then to the scribe's office where copies are made, one of which is sent back to the council, where a report of acknowledgement is written. Now the emperor himself receives a copy, on which he writes approved. The council examines it all again in great detail, with full consideration given to matters of stylistic expression. Finally, the palace, and the ceremony of affixing the great imperial seal. Did I get all that right?
I have no idea.
And so it is decided what colour of sleeves a gentleman of a certain rank may wear at court.
Remember, the season of the year must be taken into account.
On the question of sleeve colour.
On the question of everything.
Why are you here? I don't mean in this place of insane decrees. Here, with me and this unreasonable beast. Did you know I was here?
Yes.
And why are you here? Are we to talk? Are you here to urge me again to go away?
That's not why I came.
But...
Yukinari, you know you have to leave eventually.
Yes. I know that. Lady Komatsu!
Komatsu, what happened to you?
Shonagon, come here.
Your clothes, your face!
Don't concern yourself. It's not mine.
Shonagon, please. Come and stand by me.
You remember we wondered how its eyes would be when it was angry. I came to see its eyes when it smelled blood.
Whose blood?
Its eyes are like a smile.
Lady Komatsu.
A clever smile.
Komatsu, you know who I am.
You are Shonagon's lover.
I am Lieutenant Yukinari of the Imperial Police. But I am also Shonagon's friend, as she is yours.
See how it smiles, like a clever lover.
Will you give me the dagger, Komatsu?
It smiles at me as if it loves me. But it's my husband's blood it smells.
Komatsu!
I have played a trick on the clever beast. Clever me. He tried to kill me, Shonagon. And I am of the royal blood, so I spilled his instead. I killed him instead. Here, Lieutenant, take this bloody thing away from me.
The various meanings of blood. It runs in certain veins and says love. It runs in other veins and says nobility. It runs in the veins of a tiger and says kill. It stains the face and clothes and hands of a woman and says murderess.